You can make a heart out of that?
Yeah, like, shoo.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like a big, like...
I was thinking like a big one
heart,
too.
yeah. Like you're literally a walking green heart.
So, reflector.
A reflector?
Gold,
silver, white.
Yeah, and then the 2 Chinese lanterns. We have a monitor. Dolly, shoulder mount. My box. Oh, it's my dog's favorite toy. Okay, we have somebody in Richmond. And obviously Washington, D.C. New York, possibly Brooklyn. Pennsylvania. Davenport. So we can decide. I know that there was somebody in Wisconsin that wanted to see us, and I was like, well, pal, that's intense. Wait, okay, so what we're going to go to Albuquerque, and then we're going to go north.
What's the distance between those two? Or maybe you can Google.
Denver and Davenport?
Yeah.
12 hours. That's doable.
Yeah, for sure.
So this might actually work. So we're traveling 8,000 miles throughout the country, meeting people in like every city that we can hit for now. And just speaking to them kind of about whatever they feel is most important to raise awareness about. So for a lot of people, it's, you know, the financial struggles that people face. For other people, it's sort of like the social stigma and the lack of emotional support that they receive. For other people, it's the fact that it's a very invisible illness and they just want the public to understand what they're feeling that can't be seen from the outside. And so we really wanted to use this as an opportunity to not necessarily just address sort of, you know, the political debate surrounding Lyme disease, but to just make it a more like human interest story so that the public has a better awareness of just what it means to have Lyme disease, the way that there's a lot of awareness about what it means to have cancer or Parkinson's or MS, so that there can be greater understanding and we can kind of start bridging the gap between patients and those outside of the community and just, you know, getting the support that we need, because I think that's one of the things that I definitely struggled with the most when I was, you know, during treatment, and just people not understanding what I was going through, and oftentimes with all the best intentions trying to say the right thing and inadvertently saying the wrong thing because I don't need you to tell me that it looked fine. I know.
Mr.
Dude.
Came out well, right?
It's pretty sweet. Project 300K. Oh, 8 o'clock. Yeah, I'm gonna miss you too, bud. Damn, I wish you could come. Alright. Go fast.
Let's go.
Bye, Mosby. I'm worried, I'm not gonna lie. We're not gonna get enough footage. We're not gonna get footage that's good enough and worthwhile and editable. The sound's gonna suck now that we don't have the mics that we needed.
Yeah.
That we have no idea what we're doing. Yay! Bye-bye, house. So, we're on our way. We just left. And
Take the shades on, look like a dick.
we just got an email from a lovely woman named Mary Jane saying that she just donated to our campaign and bumped us up to an even $1,000.
Yay!
Woo! We're halfway to our goal.
Thank you.
So we just wanted to give you a little video update and thank you so much for donating to our campaign. We're so excited to be doing this, and also to introduce you to our little mascot that I stitched up yesterday, which is our bright green heart. And we will be Instagramming photos of people with the heart that we meet, as well as the heart in awesome locations that we go to. So if you'd like to follow us on Instagram at Project300K, Project300K, I was about to say.com. And we're probably gonna hashtag this beauty, hashtag big green heart.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna be taken, but we'll get back to you on that. So
Yeah.
thank you and lots of
Thank
love.
you!
Are those grapes?
Are they?
We're in wine country. So, and how is she doing today in terms of just being able to carry on a conversation
wants to talk about just you and dancing because it seems like such a big part of your life, and the other part of me is like, oh, let's talk about, I don't know, so much. So, dancing, you love it.
I do. I love it so much. It's really hard kind of like being here and not being able to actually dance, but I still am really happy to be involved in the group and be able to. It's really nice. Mostly I like it because it's something productive that I can do, and I feel like I'm kind of helping other people a little bit, interacting with other people instead of just being at home all the time. I used to be really busy with a lot of different activities, but this is like kind of the last thing that I can do. So.
What kind of other stuff were you doing before?
Well, I was going to UC Davis as a full-time student, but I just had to withdraw last quarter because it was mostly the cognitive things that got to me. Like I was pushing through the pain and pushing through not sleeping, and then eventually it was just I couldn't learn new things, and it's really hard to describe. It's just so foggy. Your brain gets, you just can't process, and I'm sitting there going, I know that I know how to do this, but it's just not clicking anymore. So that's and my insomnia has gotten a lot worse recently, so that's why I had to withdraw from that. But I also used to do competitive Irish step dancing, so that was a lot of fun. I really like that, but that's even like 1,000 times more active than this. So
I can imagine.
Yeah, no way that I could keep doing that right now, but I'd like to go back to it someday.
When were you diagnosed?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Congrats!
Yeah, so that was scary with all the stuff that comes with Lyme disease, but it's really nice to finally know what's wrong.
Yeah.
So I was diagnosed with other things. A lot of doctors are like, well, there's nothing wrong with you, like you don't fit any of the symptom categories, so you're probably fine. I had, like when I was 12, I think I had a rheumatologist or a neurologist, I don't remember, tell me that I was crazy and should go see a psychiatrist, and I didn't do that because I know I'm not crazy, but
I'm glad you knew.
Yeah, so that was hard. Heard about this girl who was having really similar symptoms to me when I was around 12 years old, and so we eventually found her, and she had been diagnosed with reflex neurovascular dystrophy and went to a treatment program for that, and she did get better, but not all the way because it turned out that wasn't the right diagnosis, because then she just found out recently that she has Lyme, so then that's how I found out too. I was like, maybe it's something else. So then
Good, I'm glad you guys are still in touch.
Yeah. When I was 12, the symptoms were just the full body pain. Like I had gone to Girl Scout camp in the woods and I didn't see a tick bite, but that must have been where I got it. And then the next week I had a really high fever illness for a whole week. It was like the sickest that I've ever been in terms of like a flu type of thing. And then when I was getting over that and I was trying to go back to school, this was in 6th grade, I got up to go to school the next day because my fever had gone away and I just had really terrible pain in my hips and my knees and I could not walk. It was so bad and I never felt that bad in my life before. So then, immediately started going to the doctors and nobody could find anything, and that's when all of that happened. And I think that my mom was researching on the internet and found Lyme disease all the way back then. It's like, this sounds like my daughter, and went to the doctor who goes, oh no, there's no Lyme disease in California, you don't need to be tested. So that's why it took so long to get to it.
Yeah,
but,
I think your mom mentioned that she spent like 8 years pretty much asking doctors, like, is it Lyme? Is it Lyme? And every doctor just telling her, no, it doesn't exist. It's not out here. That's not what this is.
Exactly.
How does that make you feel?
Well, at first I was really angry, but I'm kind of moving past that now because I'm so happy to find out what it is and that there is a treatment plan for it. So that's good. I have a younger sister, her name is Haley, and she's a sophomore in high school, so she's 15. Well, we've been best friends since she was born. Like, I love my sister, so it's, now that I was living in an apartment in Davis where I was going to school, but now I've moved back home because I can't do a lot of things for myself. But, so I get to see her more, so that's nice, but she's a really busy, active, healthy kid. She's on a competitive gymnastics team, and really busy with honors classes and things in school, so it's kind of hard. Like, I used to be that way, but I'm just glad that she doesn't have Lyme disease. But I do have a lot of really supportive friends, and my family is great. So she is. She's my champion. She's the one who like does all the research and goes out and says, you have to treat my daughter. There is something wrong with her. So it's really nice. Yeah, that's one of the things that I find hardest about Lyme disease is that, at least for me, it's so episodic. It goes up and down, and sometimes I'll be feeling a lot better, and sometimes I can't get out of bed. So it's really hard a lot of time because I don't leave the house if I'm not feeling good. So on the days when I'm feeling better, that's when people see me and they're like, well, you look fine, you don't seem sick. So it's hard. Turns out there's like 7 people in my area, girls my age, with Lyme disease. So I've just recently, within the last few weeks, gotten into contact with some of those girls to be able to talk. And it's so nice to be able to talk to people who, you know, are experiencing it and they like really understand what you mean. Yeah, and they actually get it. Yeah. I kept trying to go to school because I really wanted to. So I want to be a speech language pathologist. So
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you come to that?
Oh gosh, how do I don't remember this now. Well, I have an internship. Well, I had an internship in Davis, working at a speech pathology center, and I loved it. So I've always been really into like words and literature and all of that, so it kind of fits right in. And I always knew that I wanted to be in some sort of helping profession and something in the medical field, but I don't like, you know, blood and all that stuff. So yeah, so I was really excited about speech language pathology, and that's what I hope to go back to after I'm well.
It's so nice to meet you. How did you guys do?
We did good.
You did good? Yeah? Are
so
you exhausted?
Hi.
I'm Cindy.
Catherine.
Catherine?
Yeah.
Very nice to meet
Very
you.
nice to meet you too.
This is Beth.
Hi.
So did you have trouble finding us, or did you do okay?
Edit all that out.
I'm gonna keep that for my own personal use.
You need. They're like, you better let me come in. There's you guys. Are you coming to say hi?
Otherwise, he's coming through this way and bandit.
Yeah, you have to listen. You guys are doing which way to go.
My dad. Why are they so cute?
A lot of people didn't know. I mean, it was, it took us a long time to get actual diagnosis. In 6th grade, I just started having a lot of OCD symptoms, so we saw some psychiatrists, and I did better with some behavioral therapy and exposure therapy and medications, and then I got worse back and forth. You know, I was doing a lot of things in school. Like, I mean, I was doing band, and so 7th grade and 8th grade and 9th grade were really good years for me. But towards the end of my sophomore year, I just started doing worse in my classes, and academically I couldn't keep up, and I was in marching band, and I was in softball and 4-H and everything. I felt overcommitted. When I tried to do my schoolwork, it was like words jump around on the pages. I got like a D in English, which was my best class, and it was really discouraging. I'd always had A's and everything, and
The hardest thing for me, especially when I'm doing homeschool with my mom, is I'll learn a new math problem or something, and I can't remember it to save my life.
Yeah.
Like the next day, and it's not because I'm ignoring it or I'm trying to forget it. It's like I don't remember what I'm doing. Thankfully, my mom has written me down a cheat sheet, so I'm like, oh, you do this, and that's how you get it done.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mother.
But a little, outside, I just have the best family. Like, I actually am the youngest of 6 kids. And I'm involved with all my nieces and nephews. I like to babysit them, and that was hard because with the noise that kids make, I was feeling like I don't want them to think that I don't love them and I'm not like trying to help, but I can't do this. Like, this is so much stimulation for my brain. I feel overstimulated when I'm around them.
Right now, it's just I usually sleep in till like 11 or 12 because I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And thankfully, my mother lets me do that because she knows.
What else is
That's
there
a
to do?
big part of it. Fatigue is huge, just huge.
Yeah, usually in the mornings I don't eat breakfast because my stomach feels horrible, and if I feel like I do eat something, I'm running to the bathroom. So, yeah, I'm not the only one. So, usually I don't eat breakfast. I'll go eat lunch, take care of the animals, feed the bunnies and the dogs, and make sure the parrots are fed. So, yes, we have the zoo.
That's awesome.
That's
But,
cool.
It's great that you have energy to do those things even.
Yeah.
even if I need help, especially with the bunnies, because what we do is we have a bucket and we put their water bottles in the bucket, and I carry it to the sink to fill it. I can't always carry it back, so thankfully my mom is gracious enough to carry the 70-ton bucket back out to the patio, and I dish out water for all of our bunnies.
Oh, that's
I am.
How long
Yeah.
have you been treating?
It will be 2 years in April.
Do you feel any better?
And I feel a lot better. I felt like awful when I first started. I did the oral antibiotics and really hurts really bad for a while. After that, then I did shots, and so I've been doing IV therapy for a couple months. Mom, do you?
since June.
Antibiotic?
Yeah, IV. And we've switched several times to different, ones, but yeah, it's been.
I had the PICC line, yeah, it sucked. It hurt really bad because it's surgery and they, do a tourniquet, and then it's like the next day you have to get the whole dressing changed. And so the first day after, they put it in, they had to change it, and it was like, and then, so I get it changed every week, and it doesn't, getting it changed hurts a little, but other than that, I never really notice, honestly. It goes into,
seriously, I have to say, it has been a breeze. I mean, I know I don't have it in my arm, she
Yeah.
does, but we do this together. I put the IVs in because it's hard to do it on yourself without the little connector. And we went through a period where we did several hours a day, so it was just better for us both to do it. But it has stayed incredibly healthy. She hasn't had any kind of infections, and it's been since June. So we've switched about 3 times to different ones, Rocephin, Septra, now we're doing Invance. But they really target that area, and so for everybody it's different, and not everybody ever winds up needing to do that.
Yeah.
But when she went through a super heavy oral antibiotics just a year ago, it affected her so much that she couldn't walk without a walker. It just really, takes your body, and there's so much killing off of all the bacteria that it just puts you in a state where, you just can't really function. But since then, she's steadily climbed out of that and is doing really well right now. So.
Great, and you feel like you're still progressing?
Yeah, I do. I do. I have trouble even really remembering when I first started. I feel like when I start getting discouraged, I think, you know, I just tell myself, look how far you've come, and I know that it won't get worse than it was when I first started. I mean, I know that that was like the rock bottom, and so the only way is up.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
so important to count the victories.
Yeah.
And it will sometimes go step back a little, but when you go forward, you're higher up forward than you were last time. Even though it may set you back, you still are going the right direction, you know, so.
Yeah, it's just going forward. Like, even when I fall, it feels like flat on my face. I know I'm moving forward, and
It's like a slow crawling.
yeah,
You're going. What about you? So when were you got diagnosed?
How long ago was that one?
2 months ago,
Yeah.
April 5th, August 5th, we got the formal diagnosis.
I guess it really happened when I came back from a trip with my father from Oregon, and my grandmother was sick with, what did she have again, Mom? Was it?
We don't know specifically, but she had a cold,
Yeah.
and we thought that you'd picked up a cold.
Yeah, I didn't feel very well, and sorry, I don't remember things very well. So,
Don't worry. Me either.
what happened next after that, Mom? I felt sick, and
She started feeling fairly sick. She started running fevers. I was really concerned because she was running fevers like of 104.4. So I took her to the emergency room. By the time that we got there, her fever had started to go down. But the doctor treated her with some antibiotics, gave her the wrong dosage of antibiotics, about half dose, and then she took the antibiotics for the course, and then 2 weeks later she still wasn't any better. I took her into a clinic that Kaiser had on Saturdays, and one of the doctors there caught the fact that she had been misdosed, redosed her, and gave her azithromycin. And on the 5th day of azithromycin, which was October 17th, 2007, she got up that morning and she said, I feel horrible, and I'm going to be sick. And I followed her into the bathroom, and I looked up at her in the mirror as we were headed for the toilet, and her skin color was totally wrong. I mean, everything about her was just wrong. We started to see an infectious disease doctor, asked him if it was Lyme. He said no. He referred us to a rheumatologist. The rheumatologist, in fact, the infectious disease doctor said, we think it's vasculitis. The rheumatologist said, we think it's dermatomyositis. She was hospitalized in April of 2008 for a week. She was down to like 96 pounds. By 2009, I was demanding that they test her for Lyme. They tested her for Lyme, and of course it came back negative. So they looked at me like I was just the overprotective, retarded mother, right? When she was hospitalized in 2010, with all this fluid on her heart, they pulsed her with 1,000 milligrams of solumedrol 3 days in a row. So about 4 months after that, she ended up with patches on her hips, and the skin started to change, the texture. And I pulled the ICU. After that, she was back in ICU because we were concerned that she was developing fluid on the heart again. So we were back in ICU, and I looked at the ICU doctor and I said, can I show you this? And he looked at me and he goes, I've never seen this. And I said, I've done some research online. I'm concerned that maybe it's morphia or, scleroderma or, on and on and on. And so from that point on, she started to develop these, she's got calcium that's depositing all through her soft tissue. And so what happens is that the calcium actually comes to the surface and it erupts like a boil would erupt. And she's had huge sores that are, huge sores that end up being like a 1/4 inch deep, and they take 1.5 years to heal. So she's got these bandages that we have to, it's I mean, I can show you pictures. I mean, it's pretty scary looking. I think with Lissa, the thing that was the most frustrating was that every doctor that we saw, I asked point blank, repeatedly, "Are you sure this isn't Lyme disease?" So it wasn't until we actually saw a functional medical doctor that she, did the tests. The test came back positive for Lyme and also for Bartonella. She's being tested currently for Babesia microti, so that's still out. So we'll get that back. She's also being tested for Epstein-Barr and some of the other types of viruses, etc. But I think that this would have been so much more of an easy road for us had the doctors we'd been seeing had a clue. We just saw her pediatric nephrologist, and we really like him. He's brilliant. He teaches at one of the medical schools, here, in the area, and he looked at me a week and a half ago and said, I was unaware that there was Lyme in California. I'm thankful that Stanford University is doing some research. So, they're really kind of the heavy hitters when it comes to, to research, and people will stand up and take notice with what Stanford says. So, I'm really hopeful that we're going to turn this around and that the CDC will start looking at the parameters that they're putting on Lyme and realizing that they are absolutely tying doctors' hands, and you have young people. I mean, all the ones that we know are young women, but who are suffering for 6, 7, 8 years before they actually get a diagnosis. And the long-term ramifications of not being able to catch that early are huge.
All right. Actually, can I get both of you?
He'll be up, just text. Okay,
Okay.
good. Leaving
1, 2, 3.
Folsom.